Coming live from Boston, Massachusetts, this is All Sports with Gerardo. Thank you for watching another episode of All Sports. This is your host, Gerardo. So right now I'm out here in Boston, and right behind me, here in the distance, is Fenway Park. Fenway Park is located in Boston. It's home of the Red Sox. Fenway Park is known as America's most beloved ballpark. They broke ground for Fenway Park in September of 1911, and it opened in April of 1912. Fenway Park has a seating capacity of over 37,300 seats. Fenway Park didn't used to look the way it does now. In the past, Fenway Park used to look a lot different. Fenway Park was renovated and expanded in 1988, from 2002 to 2011, and in 2017. But most of the changes were done in 1988. Fenway Park is the oldest baseball stadium. It's the fourth smallest Major League Baseball stadium, and it's the second smallest stadium by total capacity, and it's one of the 8 stadiums that can accommodate 40,000 guests. So right behind me in the distance is the Green Monster. To the left of me, out in right field, right above the bullpens, to the right of me is Pesky's Pole. Now out here in right field, about halfway up in the bleacher sections, you can't see it with all the people, there is a red seat, and it's the only red seat in this bleacher section. And it's just above that scoreboard out here in right field, about halfway up that section. I could see the top of it from here. The red seat in the right field bleachers was the longest home run hit at Fenway Park by Ted Williams in 1946. In 1946, all of the upper deck seats, which would be those red seats of that second column, right where the press box and the suites are, and the booths for the broadcasters where it says Fenway Park, up and down from the left to the right, from the third base to the first base side and behind home plate. All those seats, which would be the upper deck, were installed in 1946. In 1947, the lights were installed, so the lights that you see right above here, all these were installed in 1947. Before the 2003 season, there were never seats at the top of the Green Monster. The Green Monster used to just be the wall, and there was a net there, and that was it. But before the 2003 season, they added all those seats just above the Green Monster so fans could sit up there. And if you're lucky enough to have a seat up there, and if you're one of the lucky ones, you get a really nice view of Fenway Park from up there out towards home plate. In the past, and even in the last few years, Fenway Park has hosted many great events. Whether these events that were hosted here at Fenway Park were baseball related or they weren't, Fenway Park has hosted many great events. Some of them include the 1999 Major League Baseball All-Star Game, the 2010 NHL Winter Classic. There has been a few All-Star games here from the past. There has been many concerts and many other different types of events that are not baseball related, but especially all the Red Sox games have been played here since 1912. And the Red Sox have been playing here at Fenway Park for over 100 years, since 1912. So Fenway Park definitely has a lot of history here. And I'm going to show you different parts of Fenway, from the Green Monster, from the outfield, from behind home plate. I'm going to show you everything around Fenway Park on the inside, which includes the Green Monster and Pesky's Pole out there in the distance. Right now I'm right above the bullpens out here in right field. And I'm also going to show you different angles of what Fenway Park looks like from the outside and from the inside. So Fenway Park definitely has a lot of history, and I'm looking forward to going around Fenway Park, exploring it, and also showing you. Fenway Park in Boston is definitely another stadium and another city that I'm checking off my list. throughout the next few weeks of this journey, and I'm one step closer to seeing the final stadium and the final city up and down the East Coast. So just outside Fenway Park, just down the street here, about a block away from Fenway Park, we got all the retired numbers. To the right is number 42, which is retired by every baseball team in Major League Baseball. That was Jackie Robinson's number. Right here to the left of me is David Ortiz's number. They retired his number in 2017. I was actually here for the game that they did David Ortiz's retirement ceremony. Before the game, the Red Sox are playing the Angels in June of 2017, and they had the ceremony of when they put his number just outside Fenway Park, right here where I'm standing, and they also put his number inside of Fenway Park. I was here for that game when they did his retirement ceremony. That was a great game, and how they got to honor David Ortiz before the game. And they also did a ceremony outside here by this number outside of Fenway Park the day before. The 42's down there, 34 is right here, David Ortiz's number. Number 26 is right here, Wade Anthony Boogs. You keep walking down this walkway, Fenway Park's just about a block right in front of me. You can see the side of Fenway Park. Number 45, Pedro Martinez. Number 14, James Edward Rice. Number 6, John Michael Pesky. His number is also retired. Number 27, Carlton Indris Fish Prig. His number is also retired. Number 8, Carl Michael Yesame. Number 1, Robert Parrish Deer. Number 4, Joseph Edward Crown. And number 9, the great Ted Samuel Williams is right over here. So this is the walkway just outside of Fenway Park where they have all the numbers that are retired. They got all the numbers like these ones I just showed you up and down this walkway. And around Fenway Park, they also got the numbers that are retired hanging on the side of the building. And they're just on the side of these brick walls. Inside Fenway Park, just above right field, where the right field foul pole is, which would be called Pesky's pole, right above from the lower level of Fenway Park, where the upper level of Fenway Park is, they also got all these retired numbers hanging there in right field of Fenway Park. But they have all these numbers outside, like these ones that I'm standing next to. They got the numbers hanging on the side of Fenway Park and in right field inside Fenway Park. Right now I'm outside of Fenway Park. I'm getting ready to head inside Fenway Park. Check it out. I'm walking up the street right now. Right across the street from me is the historic Fenway Park. If you look at Fenway Park from here, even driving around Fenway Park or walking around it, it looks like a warehouse from the outside. It does not look like a regular ballpark. Fenway Park is a lot different from Wrigley Field. If there's one thing I can recommend, if you're a baseball fan and you like checking out the stadiums, I highly recommend come out here to Fenway Park. There's a lot of unique things about this park. It's definitely worth seeing. You also need to check out Wrigley Field in Chicago, which is home of the Cubs. Wrigley Field's also a must-see ballpark. But right now, I'm going to show you Fenway Park, which is the home of the Red Sox. I'm going to show you different angles outside of Fenway Park and show you what it looks like. Once I show you this main street just outside of Fenway Park, I'm going to head inside and show you different angles of Fenway Park. I'm going to show you the Green Monster, Pesky's Pole, and just what it looks like from behind home plate and from where the Green Monster is inside Fenway Park. But I'm definitely looking forward to going inside Fenway Park and showing you. And right before the game starts, I will show you that street. That street's actually part of Fenway Park, so I can't show it to you right now. But once I get inside Fenway Park, I will also show you the street. If you look catty corner from me on the other side of the street, straight across from me, this main street here used to be called 4 Yawkey Way. This street used to honor longtime Red Sox owner Tom Yawkey. But just this past offseason, after the 2008 season ended, they landed up changing the street name back to Jersey Street. Before 1977, this street right behind me was called Jersey Street. After 1977, they changed Jersey Street to Yawkey Way to honor the longtime Red Sox owner. But last year, after the season ended, they changed the street back to Jersey Street. So right now I'm out here in right field of Fenway Park. Since I'm out here in right field, to the right of me out there in the distance is the Green Monster. And whether you've seen the Green Monster on TV or in person here at Fenway Park, it's definitely a large green wall, and it's definitely a big wall. Now coming down this walkway out here in right field, to the right of me is the 2 bullpens. Right here's the Red Sox bullpen. And if you continue down this walkway, on the other side of this walkway is a visitor's bullpen, which would be the Blue Jays bullpen. This walkway here is a walkway for anyone to go back and forth. These seats that you see right here to the right of me is the first row. And these are definitely premium seats since they're on the first row right behind the bullpen here at Fenway Park. So if you want a seat right here, right above the bullpen, and have this really nice view from right field of Fenway Park and of the Red Sox game, you're going to have to pay a premium price for these seats. But whether you're sitting here or standing here for batting practice or whatever, you get a really nice view of the Red Sox game. You can see the Green Monster to the right of me. Pesky's pole is the right field foul pole, which would be that yellow pole out there in right field. But from right here, you can see the entire Red Sox bullpen. The visitors' bullpen's on the other side, and you can see the whole field when the Red Sox are playing. As you continue down this walkway, there's more seats. Right above these 2 bullpens, the Red Sox is here, and then the visitors is down here on the other side. And this walkway goes all the way down to the other end of the visitors' bullpen. Today the Red Sox are playing the Toronto Blue Jays, so it should definitely be a great game. It's a divisional matchup. The Toronto Blue Jays play with the Boston Red Sox in the American League East, so it should definitely be a great game. And I'm definitely looking forward to this game. If you look out here from right field in the distance, you get a really nice view of Fenway Park from out here. Right above me over here is the visitors' bullpen, which would be the Blue Jays bullpen, and there's more premium seats, which would be the first row right in front of me. And then right towards home plate, you can see the press box with the broadcast booth and the suites with the Fenway Park sign. You got the green monster out there to the right of me. But overall, Fenway Park is definitely a nice ballpark, and there's a lot of history here. So I'm definitely going to show you more angles of Fenway Park from the outfield and behind home plate. But here's one last look right above the bullpen here in right field at Fenway Park. This would be the visitors' bullpen, and you get a really nice view from behind the bullpen. And if you get the opportunity, come out to Fenway Park, and if you can, get these premium seats and sit here right behind the bullpen, because you definitely get a nice view of the Red Sox game. Right now I'm out here in right field of Fenway Park, but there's a reason why I'm out here right now. If you come down here to row 37, seat 21, we got a red seat right out here. And this is a special seat. I'm actually going to sit in it right now. They actually sell this seat, but there's a reason why this seat is red out of all these green seats. But from this seat right here, you get a really nice view of the Red Sox game, and you can see all of Fenway Park from out here in right field. You get a nice view. You can see the green monster out there in the distance. But this red seat right here, I'm going to give you some history about it. If you swing the camera this way, you can see that red seat right there, right where I was sitting. It's about 5 seats in. It's row 37, seat 21, but in 1946, Ted Williams, the great Ted Williams, hit the longest home run here at Fenway Park, out here to right field in row 37, seat 21. So that's why this seat is red out here in the right field of Fenway Park. So right now I'm out here left field of Fenway Park, and I'm coming up this long staircase. This is the way up to the green monster. So it doesn't matter if you're coming up from the right side or from the left side. This is the way up, and it's a very long staircase. You can tell it goes all the way down. It also goes down to the other side, and there's more stairs coming down from that way. But as you come up here, you're at the top of the green monster. And from up here, you're basically at the highest point of Fenway Park. This is one of the highest points here at Fenway Park from the outfield, but there's also many other high points from behind home plate. But as you come down this walkway, no matter if you're standing here or you're in the seats, you can see the Red Sox playing down below on the field. But you get a really nice view from here. You can see the bullpens, you can see the whole field, you can see where home plate is, you can see all of the seats from the outfield out towards home plate. You can see the press box with the Fenway Park sign just above. You get a really nice view of the entire ballpark and of the field. But if you keep walking down this way, this area is a little bit of an obstructed view. But from here, you even get a better view of Fenway Park standing here. And anyone's allowed to stand right here and watch the game. But to save the best for last, if you keep walking this way, You go up the stairs, and that's the walkway that's behind the Green Monster. Unfortunately, I can't show you the Green Monster and the seats because they do require you to have a ticket, and it has to be a special ticket. And like I've been saying, you have to be one of the lucky ones to have a ticket to sit in these seats here on top of the Green Monster. But that's the stairs to go up where they're checking the tickets. That's the walkway with all the sections of the Green Monster. And right in front of me, as you continue down this walkway, you can see the Green Monster here with all the different seats. They got 4 rows. It starts with row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. And then they got the walkway, but all these rows here have seats, a place for you to sit. And you get a really nice view of the Red Sox game. And even from here, even if you're not one of the lucky ones to have a ticket for those seats, look at this view from up here. You can see the entire field, the bullpens, out to home plate. You can see the press box with the Fenway Park sign just above. It doesn't get any better than this, especially being at a historic ballpark. Wrigley Field can't compare to the way Fenway Park is. And this view from up here is very nice. There's no other ballpark, and not even Wrigley Field compare to this view from up here. And to save the best for last, if you come down here to the end, towards the end of the walkway, here where the stairs are, these are the different rows of seats for the Green Monster. You got row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, and then the walkway. But they have these sections with a few seats, have a place for you to sit with the seat. Then they got a rail to put your food and drink, other stuff. And here, you get a really nice view of the Red Sox game and of all of Fenway Park. All the here at the ballpark from up here, and it's just a really nice view. But this is what the top of the Green Monster looks like with these seats at each section. So out here in right field of Fenway Park, this right field foul pole right in front of me is Pesky's pole. There's different names and different autographs of all the people that have signed the Pesky's pole, but this is the Pesky's pole out here in right field that's really famous. You also get a really nice view of the Red Sox game from out here in right field. And if you look out towards left field, there's the Green Monster. And then out there in right field, right in front of me, is the 2 bullpens, the Red Sox and the visitors bullpen out there in right field. So overall, you get a really nice view out here at Fenway Park of the 2 bullpens out in right field, the Green Monster out in left field, and Pesky's pole to the left of me looking out towards home plate. So anywhere you sit from behind home plate or in the outfield at Fenway Park, you don't get a bad view of the Red Sox game. So here at Fenway Park, this is one of the original ballparks in Major League Baseball. The only ballpark that would be similar to this is Wrigley Field in Chicago, which is home of the Chicago Cubs. But Fenway Park here in Boston is the home of the Boston Red Sox. As you can tell, right now I'm in the concourse right behind home plate. But anywhere that you walk here at Fenway Park, the concourses are very small, since this is one of the original ballparks. Something that's unique about Fenway Park too is the seats. Since the seats are the original seats, and they're wooden seats, they're not like the plastic seats that you would see at all the newer ballparks across Major League Baseball. But even here around the corner, you can see how small the concourse is, and it's not very wide compared to other ballparks across Major League Baseball. But this is how the concourse looks, since it's one of the original concourses to one of the original ballparks across Major League Baseball. But this is how most of the ballparks used to look like in the past, with this type of concourse, how narrow and how small and how it's not very wide either way, whether you're going that way or this way. So right now, I'm outside of Fenway Park actually. But this street here, they make it a part of Fenway Park. So it doesn't matter if you're on this street, you're basically like inside Fenway Park. So it doesn't matter if you're out here or inside. But the reason I'm out here is I want to show you the history of Fenway Park. So right behind me over there is Gate A. Right down there is Gate D. But as you walk down this street, up until the end of the 2018 season, this used to be called Yawkey Way to honor the longtime Red Sox owner, Tom Yawkey. But before the 2019 season, they changed it back to Jersey Street. This street used to be called Jersey Street before 1977 until they turned it into Yawkey Way from 1977 to 2018. But here on Jersey Street now, if you look to the left of me where Fenway Park is, this is actually Fenway Park. But if you look at it, it looks like it's a warehouse from the outside. And if you're driving around Boston, a lot of the older buildings look like this. You can't even tell that it's a baseball stadium. The only thing that gives it away is with the lights on top. If they didn't have the lights and they didn't have these Red Sox logos and signs, it would look like a warehouse. You wouldn't even know this is a ballpark. But this is what Fenway Park looks like from the outside here on Jersey Street. And most of Fenway Park looks like this around Fenway Park on the outside. Since the concourses are so small and it's an original ballpark, they didn't have space to add concession stands, restaurants, places to sit, places to buy food and drinks, or to even have their team store. So most of that's outside. And believe it or not, Fenway Park is the only ballpark to have their team store outside, and it's really not a part of the ballpark on the inside. So if you look to the right of me, this is the Red Sox team store. They have this whole building. This is their team store. And there's different places to sit and stand to eat your food and drinks. There's different places here on the left to sit and stand. Or you can stand right here and you can have your food and drink. Up and down the street, there's different concession stands. We got the team store over here. This is Jersey Street, just outside of Fenway Park. So here at Fenway Park, they have a lot of the original seats, and most of them are in the lower level of Fenway Park, just behind home plate and on the first and third base side. Most of the seats in the upper half of the lower level and the seats in the upper level of Fenway Park are the newer seats. But if you look at these seats here, these are replicas of the original seats inside Fenway Park in the lower level. And if you look at these seats, they're actually wooden seats. They're not like the plastic seats that you usually sit in the newer ballpark. And these seats are also not as wide as the seats are today with the plastic seats, which would be a little bit wider. These are a little bit shorter just because they're the original seats. But if you look at it, these are what most of the seats look like just inside Fenway Park, and they're these nice wooden seats. So that's something that's really unique about Fenway Park, that most of the seats inside Fenway Park, especially in the lower level by the dugouts and behind home plate, are the original wooden seats. And this is an example of what these wooden seats look like inside Fenway Park. So out here in right field, they got a standing deck here at Fenway Park. And if you look out towards left field, but here in center field, you got the main scoreboard. They also added 2 other scoreboards on the side of the main scoreboard. But out there in left field, where you can see the sun setting right now, you really get some nice views of the sunset from out here in right field. But right below where the sun is setting is the Green Monster. This is another angle from the right field of Fenway Park of what the Green Monster looks like. You can see that out-of-town scoreboard at the bottom of the Green Monster. They still do the out-of-town scoreboard by hand. There's also the seat above the Green Monster there on the top. There's actually been a few home runs that have went up into the Green Monster so far throughout this Red Sox Blue Jays game. But during batting practice, a bunch of home runs can get hit up to the top of the Green Monster into the seats, and a lot of home runs even go over the Green Monster. And sometimes during the game, they have home runs that go into the seats top of the Green Monster, or they go above the Green Monster. But there's definitely been a lot of home runs that have hit the top of the Green Monster where the seats are, and a lot of the home runs have gone over the Green Monster right behind Fenway Park onto the street that's right behind Fenway Park. But out here in right field, you get a really nice view of the whole field. Out towards home plate, you can see the Green Monster. You can also see the main scoreboard. But something unique about Fenway Park is still the Green Monster and how they do the out-of-town scoreboard by hand. But they also got the main electronic scoreboard out here in center field, right in front of me. So today, I got to check out Fenway Park. And if there's one thing I can recommend, I highly recommend coming and seeing the Red Sox play a game here at Fenway Park. There's a reason why Fenway Park is called America's most beloved ballpark, and it's definitely worth coming out to Boston and checking out Fenway Park. There's definitely a lot of history here, but right now I'm out here in center field, and if you look out straight ahead, there's the field. The Red Sox are actually playing the Blue Jays right now. It's a great game so far. But if you look at the outfield here at Fenway Park, including the field, is the smallest field in Major League Baseball out of all the ballparks. So Fenway Park does have the smallest field, especially the outfield. Now if you look out to the left, you can see the two bullpens. The one closest to me right in front of me is the Red Sox bullpen, and on the other side is the visitors bullpen, which would be the Blue Jays bullpen. Right above the bullpens out there in right field, right below the Samuel Adams sign, is all the numbers that are retired by the Red Sox, which includes number 42 right next to number 34, David Ortiz. Number 42 is retired across Major League Baseball. That was the number that Jackie Robinson wore. And if you look out towards home plate, right now the Red Sox are playing, but right above the field is the press box where the sign says Fenway Park, and all the pennants that are under the Fenway Park sign, those are all the pennants the Red Sox have won. The blue pennants are when the Red Sox won the American League, and the red pennants are when the Red Sox won the World Series. The Red Sox just won the World Series last season in 2018. So the Red Sox were the 2018 World Series champions. The Red Sox are hoping they could win the World Series again this year and win it back-to-back years, or in the next few years going into the future. But if there's one thing I can recommend, if you come out here to Fenway Park, you definitely want to see the Red Sox go against the Yankees. That is one of the greatest rivalries of all time, and the Red Sox and the Yankees is definitely a great game. The Red Sox and the Yankees are a divisional matchup. They're both in the American League East, and that is one game you definitely want to check out here at Fenway Park, since that's one of the greatest rivalries in Major League Baseball and in sports. So today, I got to show you Fenway Park and why it's America's most beloved park. I got to show you all the history about Fenway Park and every angle of Fenway Park, from the inside and from the outside. So if there's one thing I can recommend, you definitely need to come out to Boston and check out Fenway Park. Whether you're a Red Sox fan or not, there's a lot of history here. And if you're a baseball fan, Fenway Park has to be at the top of your list. And it's definitely a city and a stadium that you need to check off your list. And Fenway Park's definitely worth seeing, so you definitely need to come check it out. But today, I wanted to show you what Fenway Park looked like from the outside and from the inside. But I especially wanted to show you the Green Monster out in left field and show you how tall the Green Monster actually is with the seats on top. I wanted to show you different angles of the field from the outfield, here where I'm sitting out in right field, and behind home plate. Wanted to show you Pesky's pole. I just wanted to show you different parts of Fenway Park, from the outfield, from behind home plate, from the inside, the outside, and throughout the concourses. But Fenway Park is definitely worth seeing. There's a lot of history here. It's a great ballpark. It's definitely America's most beloved ballpark, and there isn't another ballpark like Fenway Park. But if there's one thing I can recommend if you're a baseball fan, you definitely have to come out to Boston and see Fenway Park. You also need to go out to Chicago and check out Wrigley Field. They're the only two remaining stadiums that were built from a long time ago that are over 100 years old. and that got a lot of history. There's no other stadium like Fenway Park or Wrigley Field. But Fenway Park out here in Boston, Fenway Park in Boston is another stadium and another city that I'm going to check off my list throughout the next few weeks of this journey up and down the East Coast. So cheers to the third stadium and the third city to be checked off of my bucket list. There's only 3 more cities and 3 more stadiums to visit, and I can finally say I've been to all 30 Major League Baseball stadiums in all major cities across the US in the next few weeks. Tune in to the next All Sports with Gerardo show next week. I want to say thank you to everybody that watches every episode of All Sports. Subscribe or like my pages on social media at All Sports with Gerardo. Until next time, this is Gerardo coming live from Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts.